You know, I was just thinking, except for the hat, I kind of look like one of the Talons from the Court of Owls, don't I? The laser is 'cause I like sci-fi. The dude is 'cause I am a rad guy. 99 is 'cause I like Wayne Gretzky. That's why I'm Lazy Dude 99. Lazy time and we're gonna do a review. Yes, we're gonna review and talk about movies and comics too. Let's all go on to review. Hello everyone and welcome to another Laser Dude 99 video. So, it's been requested a whole bunch, so I'm finally going to get into it. I'm going to get into part 1 of Scott Snyder's Batman run with Volume 1, Batman and the Court of Owls. So when the New 52 happened and everyone started with their own books, one of the most popular was, not surprisingly, Batman, written by Scott Snyder. But one of the things that made it really appealing was these new villains called the Court of Owls and their assassins called Talons that were used in this story. So in this story, Batman is investigating this mysterious murder. The thing that makes it mysterious is the guy left a note that says Bruce Wayne will die tomorrow. The only weird thing is, the guy was dead over a week ago. And by the way he was killed, Batman can tell that it was obviously done by a very skilled assassin. And sure enough, the next day, he as Bruce Wayne is attacked by this assassin called the Talon. And everything seems to point to this old, underground, mythical, legendary establishment called the Court of Owls. However, right away, Batman, of course, dismisses it because he's always kind of looked into the Court of Owls and he's never been able to find anything. But he's about to find out just how real they are in more ways than he would ever really want. So this book is written by Scott Snyder, and he's really made his name for himself when it comes to Batman. And the penciling was done by Greg Capullo. I want to talk about the writing because Scott Snyder does have a really good voice for Batman. It's, you know, it's intelligent, he says cool things, and he really has a good way of writing Gotham City, and the way Batman feels about Gotham City, the way other people feel about Gotham City. How in Gotham City really comes with throughout as a character throughout this book. That's kind of the main thing that Batman has to deal with. The one thing that he's always been able to count on is that he knows his city. But in this story, his city kind of turns against him in a real creative way. And Batman does a couple of really cool things in it. One of my favorite is when he's going up against this gang of you know, killers and thieves and whatever, and they're trying to attack him, and it's this gang where they, when you're first initiated, you have this metal mask around your face, and you don't get it taken off to speak until you've proven yourself. And so Batman's going to get attacked by a whole bunch of them, and he throws this device on a subway, which magnetizes a train, and all these guys slam into it and get dragged off by the train. I thought that was hilarious. But I want to mention something quickly that... Can I just mention something that I'm sick of seeing in comic books, especially from DC these days? Adding on to the mythos. I mean, okay, let me just say... I've seen a lot of comic books these days that want to add on little things, take their own little spin on certain characters, past and on their present. Like, this book, it's okay, I'll get into this more in the next book where there's something that happens that I don't really like. But this book is okay. It goes into what Bruce considers his first mystery as a kid, which I like. I like to see Bruce as a kid and how he reacts to his parents' murder and how at first he thinks there's no way it could have just been a random crime. I'll get more into changing the mythos in my next review on the City of Owls when we get to that next time. So for art in this book, I think this book has great art. It's fitting for Batman, because it can be nitty, gritty, and kind of psychotic of some points. However, in the beginning, we get some, like, redesigns of some of the villains, and some of them I didn't really like. Like, the Riddler has this weird, his hair in the shape of a question mark, and Two-Face looks like he has, like, a pizza smeared on half of his face. I don't know. I didn't really fully like those designs, but I guess that's the thing with Batman villains, is rarely ever have the same design. They're always changed by artist to artist. So just because I don't like this design, it's not like every artist after this has to go that way. I will say though, something about Scott Snyder's dialogue, sometimes it feels a little bit too, I don't know, poetic. Not in what Bruce says, but in the dialogue that he thinks. Like, there's a part in this book where he's swinging through Gotham City, and I just don't really think his dialogue would be something Batman would say in a combat situation. I don't know, I think like Batman speaks in like metaphor and in like, not in riddles, but in the way he thinks isn't exactly, so like, I think sometimes he'd be like concentrating more on the task at hand and the battle that he's about to face rather than, oh, in my history, blah, 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 and my great-grandfather, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. That's just me. It was nitpick. Some of the dialogue I think was maybe, I mean, focus on the fight. However, the thing that makes up for all of that is the labyrinth. Nah. Let me put it this way, when I first started picking up issues of this book, I didn't live in a comic book store area, so I bought it at Walmart. And I bought the issue of The Labyrinth. I didn't even know what was going on. I just bought the issue with Batman trapped in this maze with lights going on and off. And the perspective of the issue changes. What I mean by that is you start holding the comic like you normally would, like this. And then as it goes on, then you turn it on the side to do one panel, and then you flip the page, and then it's this way, and then you're reading it backwards, and you're I had more than one time where I flipped the page. I'm like, wait a minute, I just read that page. I reread it took me like, I reread like 2 pages sometimes before I realized, wait a minute, I just read that. It was messing with my mind as well as messing with Batman's mind. I had no idea where I was in the situation. I thought that was one of the most amazing reading experiences I've ever had in my life. Because it took this perspective of comic books and really changed it around and really messed with, not only with Batman's mind in this, but it rests with the reader's mind. And since the reader can experience what Batman's going through, it really gets you a feel for what he's going through and it helps you to buy the situation he's in. Let me tell you guys, if I didn't like any other part of this book, I would still say buy it just for the labyrinth part. I guess I should talk about the Talon, the owl, as it was. I like his design. I think it's a really kind of mix between old style, new style. I think it's a pretty cool design. I think it gets overused a little bit, which I'll talk about later, again, in the City of Owls. But for what it is, I really like how Batman is like really surprised how tough this thing is, and how, like, there's a scene where he's like, it takes 11 pounds of pressure to crush someone's windpipe. I'm using 100 pounds of pressure, and this guy's still standing, sort of thing. So it really comes across as a tough, well-skilled villain to take on Batman. I will say, however, that I think the Labyrinth kind of ended anticlimactically. I mean, I would have wanted Batman to fight smart rather than just be enraged and beat the crap. I don't know. Like, he doesn't really do any smart, strategic moves. He just gets up and starts fighting them off again. He gets his second win, basically. I don't know. I just miss the days when Batman is in, like, a horrible situation and he really has to think on his feet in order to think out of it rather than just muscle his way through it. I think it could have been written a little smart at the end, but the beginning of the Labyrinth, oh man, it's worth it. I really like how this book challenges the ideals of what Bruce knows, because he really thinks he knows the city, and he really thinks he knows exactly what's going on. And this really challenges, do you really know as much as you think you did? And the whole owl-bat thing is kind of well played on, and the parallels are drawn between owls and bats. More in the next one than in this one, but there's a little bit of that, of how owls are the natural predator of bats. There's a scene where it goes back to where the bat flies through the window and looks at Bruce Wayne, and Bruce says, "Yes, I will be a bat." And then the bat flies back out the window, and then it gets snatched up by an owl, which eats him. I thought that was kind of cool. It's symbolic, there's a lot of symbolism going on here, and I like that. I really like that it goes throughout the story, and it fits. And the Court of Owls comes across as very mysterious, and you have really no idea what they're doing, and what is their plan and everything. And the end of the book leaves it open for some big stuff to go down. And believe me, it goes down. But we'll get to that later. So I would say that Batman Volume 1, The Court of Owls, gets a 7.5 out of 10. I wish there was a couple more wow moments in this, and I wish we got more moments like the labyrinth, and I wish the labyrinth ended better, but trust me guys, that one scene, as I said, makes... Not that the rest is bad, because the rest is a pretty good story too, but I would say the rest of the story is just pretty good, while the labyrinth part is just absolutely incredible. So there you go, that's the first part of the Owls saga in Scott Snyder's Batman Down. One more to go. So remember guys, I'm LazyDude99, and if I don't like it, it's not worth it. And the Court of Owls has sentenced him to die! Be sure to check out more of my other videos on my channel. And wait for more coming soon.